Kel'el Ware declares for the NBA draft. Guys, you guys tell me. I feel like this is a situation where Kel'el is basically done. He's pretty much a lock for the NBA draft. I couldn't see him coming back. He had rumblings before last year after Oregon, but he kind of needed a year to really solidify himself as an NBA draft pick. Frank, do you get the same kind of vibe from me that he is gone to the NBA, most likely not coming back?
Yeah, I do. I love looking at mock drafts and draft boards and things like that, and they are all over the place this year. I mean, they are like, yeah, I know they say it's a weak draft and whatnot, but they are just no one can seem to agree. But one thing I have noticed as I've watched throughout the season is he's kind of fallen. He was like a top 5 guy before, for the good part of the first half of the season, and then I just kind of started seeing him fall, to mid first round, late first round, but I haven't seen him, anything outside of the first round. And I think anytime you have basically a guaranteed first round, then you go. That's just kind of an unwritten rule. So yeah, I do think that he does leave, and I think it's a big blow to Indiana. Unfortunately, there's a lot of untapped potential there. I mean, he's already a great player, but his ceiling is very high, and obviously the NBA still likes to draft on potential. We're seeing that shift a little bit, that they are looking for some media contributors, guys like Jaime Jaquez, for example, where they come in, ready to go. But yeah, I think he's gone, and I think that it's a major blow to Indiana, because they're a different team when he's in the game, mostly defensively, but he can stretch the floor. He can cause some problems for opposing big men. But yeah, he's going to be missed there for sure, assuming I am right and he does leave.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's gone. I think, he had during the season possible top 10 potential to be drafted there. And yes, he has slid, but he slid down to like what, 21, 22 is kind of where I've seen him. I think the lowest I saw him was 24. So in my opinion, yeah, I think he's gone. Sonny, do you agree or do you kind of differ?
Yeah, again, and now that we've confirmed I'm a message board watcher. The 24/7 guys, Rab Johns, I think that's their Indiana guy, has said it's a 100%. He's not even entertaining the thought of coming back. So I think he's gone, and I think honestly that could be a good thing for Indiana. Obviously he played with Oregon his first year and he was kind of disappointing, but the fact that he developed as well as he did for the Hoosiers, I think can be something that Mike Woodson kind of sells to other potential, incoming transferees. And so, especially, if he goes on to be drafted a little higher than was expected and has a decent NBA career, I think in the long run, it could work out for, Indiana as a team.
Yeah, I mean, and when I look at this, I think, this is like Malik Renew's chance, right? Like he had Trace Jackson Davis to play next to. He had Kel'el Ware play next to. Now it's, Indiana's going to prioritize guards in the portal. From everything I'm hearing, that's who most of their visitors are right now. They have the Bradley guy just come and visit. I think the guy from George Mason, I think he's a forward. So, Indiana's interested in him, but I don't think there's any talks about visits or anything yet. But at the end of the day, like Malik Reneau is going to have to anchor this front court in order for them to be able to play well next season. So, I mean, looking out next season, Frank, you said you're sad for Indiana. I don't know how sad you actually are, but that's nice of you to have that sentiment for him. Do you think it's going to be another struggling year for Indiana next year without Kel'el Ware, or do you envision some kind of bounce back year, possible tournament year for him?
Things were looking pretty grim there for a minute, especially with the McNeely decommitment, because that was kind of the bastion of hope, right? Is that, okay, well, next season is going to be different. McNeely is going to come in and make a huge difference. And then that decommitment kind of happened at the peak of the Woodson hate and whatnot. I mean, so there's a lot of negativity there, but ultimately it comes down to what can they do in the portal. And it seems like I can't get on Twitter for more than 5 minutes without seeing, they're talking to this guy or this guy's coming to visit. So there's a lot of talent coming on campus. It's just how can they all be put together? Galloway coming back is huge. Anthony Leal coming back is huge, which is not something I thought I would be saying at the beginning of the season. That's absolutely huge. And Reneau coming back is huge. I think that's probably the most pivotal piece, is to have him back. But ultimately, they just got to get some shooting. I think that was the biggest thing keeping them, offensively from really moving and clicking was the shooting aspect. I know the jury's kind of still out on Mbako. Not a ton. It doesn't make sense for him to really go anywhere else, in my opinion. He's well established, but I think that ultimately it comes down to what they do in the portal. But I think with that core group of Reneau, Galloway, Leal, Gabe Cups, I think them being one more year experience, I think that they're at worst a middle of the pack Big Ten team next season.
So. Yeah, I can't see a major jump that would put them at the top of the Big Ten next year. Even if they did get McNeely, like we talked about earlier, freshmen just don't make the impact that they used to. So I have less concern about Illinois next season based on the freshman stuff, and more concern just about like year 2, year 3 going on from here. But Sonny, your thought about Indiana next year without Ware?
Well, you've been kind of hearing that their NIL has really, really stepped up this offseason, that they've kind of reached a point of frustration that they're going to buy. Like, if talent is out there to be bought, they're going to try to buy that talent. And now, having said that, they lost a guy to Xavier just earlier today. So I'm not sure, how much that's really going to be worth. But truthfully, from the few Indiana fans I do talk to, hi, Burke, they seem to just kind of be done with the whole Mike Woodson era before, unfortunately, the administration seems to be. And so I think they might be stuck with another long year, fire in Woodson maybe halfway through the year, try to have first dibs on whoever the hottest coach is next year, and see where things go from there.